The Oscars 2026 gave us glamour, luxury, and some truly unforgettable fashion moments. But let's be honest, not all of them were good. From the main red carpet to the exclusive after-parties, this year's Academy Awards were filled with bold choices that didn't exactly land. So after breaking down the worst looks from the Oscars red carpet, it's time to go even deeper, because the after-party might have been even more chaotic. Today, we're counting down the top 10 worst-dressed celebrities at the 2026 Oscars after-party. Ciara. She definitely went for a bold and dramatic look here, but for many people it felt a little too intense rather than elegant. She wore a sculptural black gown by Stefan Rowland, featuring bold, structured shoulders and sharp architectural lines that instantly made the look feel intense and almost overpowering. The center of the dress was left open, framing a massive emerald pendant necklace that became the main focal point, maybe a little too much of one. The gown flowed into a sweeping train, adding even more high-fashion energy, while her sharp asymmetrical haircut matched the edgy vibe. She attended with her husband, Russell Wilson, who coordinated his look alongside hers. But despite the bold concept, the harsh structure and heavy styling made the outfit feel more like a fashion experiment than something effortlessly elegant. Suki Waterhouse. Next up, Suki Waterhouse. And this outfit really felt like a mix of too many ideas, looking artistic but not something that fully worked together. The actress wore a bold couture look from Tamara Ralph, featuring a sculptural metallic gold breastplate designed like peacock feathers, hanging from her neck and curving around her torso like wearable art. She paired it with a high-waisted milky white silk skirt and a sheer ivory cape that added even more drama to the look. While the concept was undeniably artistic, the combination felt disconnected, almost like three different outfits forced together. She completed the look with Masika pieces and platform heels by Stuart Weitzman, while her soft curtain bangs and rosy makeup tried to balance the intensity. But instead of looking effortlessly couture, the metallic armor top made the outfit feel stiff and costume-like, more like a fashion exhibition piece than a wearable after-party look. Rita Ora. Then we have Rita Ora. And honestly, this look had a lot going on. From the sheer dress to that huge hat, it all felt a bit too much at once. When Rita Ora stepped into the Vanity Fair Oscar party, she went all in on drama. But the result felt more overwhelming than iconic. She wore a sheer couture gown from Tamara Ralph featuring a corset-style bodice covered in intricate floral embroidery, paired with a low-slung satin skirt that extended into a detailed train and finished with a giant bow at the back. But the real scene stealer was the massive black feathered hat with an oversized brim. So dramatic that it reportedly had to be removed shortly after she arrived just to move around. She completed the look with sky-high decory platform heels and diamond jewelry, along with a matching embroidered bag. While the outfit clearly aimed for bold couture fantasy, the combination of the sheer naked dress, oversized hat, and heavy detailing made the entire look feel crowded and chaotic. Renate Reinsve. Renate Reinsve switched things up completely for the after-party, but this bold change didn't land well for everyone. When she showed up at the Vanity Fair Oscar party after her minimalist Oscars look, she took a complete 180, and not everyone loved it. The sentimental value star swapped her elegant red gown for a daring, almost entirely sheer black dress by Louis Vuitton, designed by Nicolas Ghesquière. The long-sleeve mesh gown was described as barely there, with visible stitching and only minimal opaque panels placed along the chest and underwear lines, making the whole look feel extremely revealing. She paired it with a striking three-tiered diamond choker that instantly drew attention, while her hair was sleekly pulled back to keep the focus on the jewelry. Styled by Carla Welch, the outfit clearly aimed for a bold Gothic after-party vibe, but instead of edgy and chic, Many critics felt it came across as more awkward than daring, like shock value taking over actual style. Cara Delevingne. Cara Delevingne always experiments with fashion, and this was no different, but this look felt more strange than stylish. When she arrived at the Vanity Fair Oscar party, she didn't just push boundaries. She completely flipped red carpet fashion on its head. The model wore a daring gown from Thom Browne's Spring 2026 collection, featuring a sheer long-sleeve mesh top designed with a trompe-l'oeil illusion of a male torso fully covered in crystals, rhinestones and sequins to mimic sculpted muscles. While the intricate detailing was undeniably impressive, the muscle dress concept felt more shocking than stylish, especially paired with a simple black column skirt that didn't quite balance the boldness above. She skipped classic heels entirely, opting instead for quirky tuxedo-style ankle boots with striped socks, a choice that made the look feel even more confusing. Julia Fox. Of course, Julia Fox went for something unique and eye-catching, but this time it felt more like a costume than a red carpet look. She once again proved she's not here to play it safe. But this time, the risk felt more confusing than iconic. She wore a surreal black and white couture gown from Victor and Rolf's Spring-Summer 2022 collection, featuring a full white skirt and dramatic shoulder straps that extended far above her natural shoulders, creating a stiff, almost theatrical silhouette. The bodice was decorated with grey and black floral details, giving the look a strange Queen of Hearts meets avant-garde runway vibe. Even though the outfit was more covered up than her usual style, something she jokingly pointed out herself, the exaggerated structure and surreal design made the look feel more costume-like than couture, as if it belonged in a fashion exhibit rather than an Oscars after-party. Tracee Ellis Ross. Tracee Ellis Ross tried to mix simple and dramatic in one outfit, but the combination didn't really come together. When she stepped into the Vanity Fair Oscar party, she went for a bold, high-fashion contrast, but the result felt more confusing than chic. Wearing a custom look by Reinsve, styled by Carla Welch, she paired a sleek, second-skin black turtleneck bodysuit with a massive white bubble skirt that looked almost cloud-like in volume. The skirt's exaggerated, sculptural shape with layered pleats and side slits was clearly meant to make a statement, but next to the ultra-tight top, the proportions felt off and unbalanced. She completed the look with Boucheron jewellery, minimal heels, and glowing makeup. While the idea of mixing sharp minimalism with dramatic volume sounded interesting, the final look came across more like two completely different outfits forced together. Bold, yes, but not exactly flattering or cohesive for such a glamorous after-party. Odessa Azian. Now, Odessa Azian really went all out with this look, but it ended up feeling a bit too busy and overwhelming. Odessa Azian completely ditched her earlier look and went full avant-garde, but this time it felt even more chaotic. The actress wore a theatrical ensemble by Harris Reed, featuring a bold animal print corset top with a deep, plunging cutout and sharply cut sides. But the real attention grabber was the massive structured shoulder wings, covered in fringe and tassels, making the whole look feel oversized and almost costume-like. She paired it with a vibrant, multicolored patchwork skirt made from different fabrics and heavy fringe detailing, which only added more visual noise to the outfit. Styled with lab-grown diamond jewellery from Pandora, the look clearly aimed for high-fashion drama, but instead of edgy and artistic, it came across as overwhelming and mismatched, like too many bold ideas thrown together at once without a clear direction. Emma Chamberlain. Emma Chamberlain tried to serve a grunge meets glam moment, but the mix didn't fully come together. Wearing a head-to-toe look from Valentino's pre-fall 2026 collection, she paired a super simple burgundy camisole with lace trim alongside a heavily embellished silver maxi skirt covered in sequins and rhinestones that trailed into a mini train. On paper, the high-low contrast sounded cool and effortless, but in reality, it felt slightly mismatched, like two completely different outfits competing for attention. The biggest curveball came with the bright canary yellow opera gloves, which completely disrupted the colour palette and pulled focus away from the rest of the look. She finished it off with chopard jewellery styled by Cara Delevingne, but instead of looking edgy and intentional, the outfit felt a bit random and unbalanced. More experimental than effortlessly stylish for such a high-profile after-party. EJAE. EJAE had a big moment at the Oscars after-party, but her outfit didn't stand out in the way you'd expect. Fresh off her history-making win for Best Original Song for Golden from K-pop, Demon Hunters, EJAE arrived at the Vanity Fair Oscar party, ready to celebrate. But her fashion choice ended up feeling a bit confusing. She wore a gown from Dior's Fall 2026 collection, designed by Jonathan Anderson, featuring a silky silhouette with an asymmetric skirt and feather-trimmed detailing that added movement. The look also carried a subtle 1920s-inspired vibe, blending vintage elegance with modern runway drama. While the dress itself had strong couture elements, the mix of textures, shifting tones, and uneven structure made the overall look feel slightly unfocused rather than cohesive. For such a major celebratory moment, the outfit lacked a clear visual impact. Instead of looking iconic, it came across as a bit lost between vintage inspiration and experimental fashion, making it less memorable than it should have been. Audrey Nuna. Audrey Nuna definitely grabbed attention with this look, but it felt more heavy and stiff than glamorous. The singer wore a custom all-gold couture look by Maison Margiela, inspired by a molten, liquid metal aesthetic that many instantly compared to the iconic Oscar statuette. The sculptural gown appeared almost poured onto her body, with a rigid, reflective surface that caught every flash of light on the carpet. While the craftsmanship was undeniably striking, the stiff, armor-like structure made the outfit feel heavy and restrictive rather than fluid and elegant. She styled the look with sparkling pieces from chopard, under the direction of stylist Daniel Brown, but even the diamonds struggled to stand out against the overwhelming gold-on-gold concept. The entire look clearly aimed for bold, high-fashion impact, but instead of feeling glamorous or effortless, it came across more like a walking sculpture. Visually impressive, yet oddly impractical and disconnected from the relaxed, celebratory vibe of an after-party. Anya Taylor-Joy. And finally, Anya Taylor-Joy went for a bold vintage style, but it felt a bit more theatrical than flattering. Anya Taylor-Joy ditched the usual gown and went for something far more daring, but the result felt more theatrical than truly flattering. The actress wore a vintage black playsuit from Dior's Fall-Winter 1994 collection by John Galliano, featuring a lingerie-inspired design with semi-sheer elements and a very short hemline. While the archival reference added major fashion credibility, the romper's silhouette felt a bit out of place for such a glamorous event, leaning more toward costume than couture. She paired it with a dramatic sculptural fascinator by Stephen Jones, shaped like a floating ribbon, which only added to the theatrical vibe. Her jewellery from Tiffany & Company, including a stunning 16-carat diamond pendant, tried to elevate the look, but the contrast between ultra-glam diamonds and the playful romper made the outfit feel slightly disconnected. The overall look was bold and memorable, but for many, it felt more like a fashion experiment than a polished after-party statement. So those were the top 10 worst-dressed celebrities at the 2026 Oscars after-party. Now, I want to hear from you. Which look do you think was the worst of the night? And was there any outfit on this list that you actually liked? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more celebrity fashion breakdowns, rankings, and iconic red carpet moments. And I'll see you in the next video.